Today we'll be starting Junie B. Jones and Her Big Fat Mouth by Barbara Park. The bus got very quiet, and everybody kept on waiting and waiting for me to say the name of my job. Except for I just couldn't think of anything, and so my face got very reddish and hottish, and I felt like P.U. again. "See, told ya," said that mean Jim. "There is no such job. Told ya, told ya, told ya." After that, I sat down very quiet and I stared out the window. 'Cause the sickish feeling was back inside my stomach again, that's why. Me and my big, fat mouth. Chapter 1, Punishment. My name is Junie B. Jones. The B stands for Beatrice, except I don't like Beatrice, I just like B, and that's all. I go to kindergarten. My room is named Room 9. There are lots of rules in that place, like no shouting and no running in the hall and no butting the other children in the stomach with your head. My teacher's name is Mrs. She has another name too, but I just like Mrs., and that's all. Last week, Mrs. clapped her loud hands together. Then she made an announcement to us. Announcement is the school word for telling us something very important. "Boys and girls, may I have your attention, please?" she said. "Today is going to be a special day in Room 9. We are going to be talking about different careers you can have when you grow up." "Yeah, only guess what?" I said. "I never even heard of that dumb word careers before, and so I won't know what the heck you're talking about." Mrs. made squinty eyes at me. "A career is a job, Junie B," she said, "and please raise your hand before you speak." Then Mrs. talked some more about careers, and she said Monday was going to be called Job Day, and everybody in Room 9 would come to school dressed up like what kind of job they wanted to be. After that, Room 9 was very excited, except for not me, 'cause I had a big problem, that's why. "Yeah, only guess what?" I said. "I don't know what I want to be when I grow up, and so that means I can't come to school on Monday, and now I'll probably flunk kindergarten." "Hooray!" shouted a mean boy named Jim. I made a fist at him. "How'd you like me to bash your brains in, you big fat Jim?" I shouted right back. Mrs. came over to my table. She bended down next to me. "Please, Junie B., you simply must try to control yourself better in class. We've talked about this before, remember?" "Yes," I said nicely. "Only I hate that dumb guy." Just then my bestest friend Lucille, who sits next to me, stood up and fluffed her ruffly dress. "I always control myself, don't I, teacher?" she said. "That's because my Nana taught me to act like a little lady. And so Junie B. Jones should act more like me." I made a growly face at her. "I do act like a little lady, you dumb bunny, Lucille, and don't say that again or I'll knock you on your can." Mrs. did a frown at me. "Just kidding," I said very quick. Except for Mrs. kept on frowning, and then she gave me punishment. Punishment is the school word for sitting at a big table all by yourself. And everybody keeps on staring at you, and it makes you feel like P.U. That's how come I put my head down on the table and covered it up with my arms, 'cause punishment takes the friendly right out of you. And so at recess, I didn't speak to Lucille, and I didn't speak to my other best friend named Grace either. I just sat down in the grass all by myself, and I watched janitor paint the litter cans, and I played with a stick and an ant, and that's all. "I hate Room 9, I said, very grumpy. Except for just then I saw something very wonderful in the grass, and its name was 2 cherry lifesavers. "Hey, I love those guys," I said. Then I quick picked one up, and I blowed off the germs, and I put it right in my mouth. "Wait, don't do that!" shouted a loud voice at me. "Spit that out right now!" I turned my head. It was Janitor. He was running at me, speedy quick. His jingly keys were jangling all over the place. Spit that out, I said, he yelled again. And so then I spit the cherry lifesaver on the ground, 'cause the guy was scaring me, that's why. Janitor bended down next to me. I didn't mean to frighten you, sis, he said, but I spotted a bunch of dirty candy in the grass, and I was going to clean it up when I finished painting. He looked serious at me. Don't you ever eat anything you find on the ground. Do you hear? Not ever. But I blowed off the germs, I told him. Janitor shook his head. You can't blow germs off, he said. Eating things that you find on the ground is very, very dangerous. The janitor picked up the dangerous candy. Now run along and play, he said. I did a big sigh. Yeah, only I can't, I said, because I shot off my big fat mouth in kindergarten and then I got punishment and now I hate my bestest friend Lucille. Janitor smiled a little bit and said, Life is hard sometimes, isn't it, sis? He said. I bobbed my head up and down. Yes, I said, life is P.U. Then Janitor patted my head and he walked away. And so guess what? I just like Janitor. And that's all. The end. Join me next time for Chapter 2.